Perfect. Line them up as good a job as I can. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My dogs just heard me. I have a big camp planned this weekend. We're leaving tomorrow, and in true midweek escape artist style, I've left everything to the last minute. So we've got a few jobs to do today. There's a couple of things I'd love to get out of the way, and I'm going to bring you along for the ride. So let's get into it. It's 3:20 right now. Welcome to the cave. Let's do some work. Sweet. All right, everyone. So, first job we need to do today is I want to replace this ladder. I've enjoyed the ladder up to date, but I've never really enjoyed how it attaches, and it looks very cool, but yeah, I'm just not a big fan of the way that it attaches to the car. I think it's causing more damage than it's worth. So the first job we need to do is we're going to replace this guy, and yeah, before we can do that we need to remove it. So let's get into that. Let's get rid of it. There we go. All good. And then just gonna lift it off. There we go. All right, here we go. So the ladder's off. Now, this is not a bad ladder. Don't get me wrong. It's a really good ladder. I like the amount of coverage it gives, but I just don't like the way that it attaches to the car. I think it's problematic. Like this bracket at the bottom here has damaged the bumper of the Jimny quite a lot, and there was no other way to put it on, so yeah. All right, so we've taken the ladder off, but what are we replacing it with? Good question. So here in Australia we have a retailer called Jimny Hype. They sell sort of all the AliExpress, eBay sort of stuff that you'd expect, and I got myself this guy. So this is a Jimny rear ladder that attaches to the brackets of the tailgate. I think it's a lot safer. I think it's a lot more aesthetically pleasing. I think it's a lot stronger as it actually bolts into the subframe of the car. So let's open it up and see what we got. But first, sweet. All right, everyone, let's get this thing unwrapped. So they've kindly given you some tools, and I'm grateful for this because I don't know what it is about me, but my tool situation is dismal. I find it very hard to keep my tools in place, and I find it very hard to keep them in condition, so I appreciate some tools. Thanks, guys. And let's open up the actual ladder. So in my research, I ended up picking this guy just because it felt like it would be better made and it would last me a little longer. I also really like the idea that this actually bolts onto the car, onto the subframe. There we go. Yeah, see, already I can tell this is a lot better quality than I was expecting. That's great. So as you can tell here, these little steps come out. I'm gonna have to tighten these bolts just so this doesn't rattle loose while you drive, which would be annoying. There we go. I think that's excellent. So there's some instructions here, which I'm sure we're gonna need. And we've got our tools ready to roll. So I reckon the first thing we're gonna have to do is to unbolt these two side brackets. So yeah, let me do that now. All right, so the next thing we need to do is we got to remove these bolts to get the plates off. So I'm going to do that now, and then we'll attach the brackets. Let's do it. All right, cool. I managed to get these nuts off. So now we have to fit the actual bracket back on. I tell you what, these nuts were quite the challenge to get off. I ended up basically removing the paint off of this entire one. Hope you can see that. But yeah, we're there, and we're just gonna get these back on. And then we're going to repeat the process for the ones down below. Let's do it. All right, well that was relatively easy. So now we need to get these bolts back on. So I'm just going to rest this up against here and just sort of make a start on one of them. All right, that's pretty good. Let's do another one. All right, now the big test is to make sure it folds the right way. I think we're okay. That's cool. All right, so we just line these ones at the bottom up. Right, I reckon that's pretty good. Get these in. That's cool. So far so good, guys. I'm really liking the look of this. I think it is a lot better than the other one I had. I haven't quite inspected the damage onto the paint and the bumper yet, and maybe a little scared to do that. The Jimny's paint is actually quite fragile, which is weird for a 4x4. You'd think they would have, you know, put some extra time and effort into that, but I guess not. That, my friends, is not going anywhere. I really like that actually. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to have to tighten up these bolts a little bit, because I don't want this thing coming undone while I'm driving. Alright everyone, job number one done. I think that is incredible. I've tightened up the bolts a little bit just to make sure these things don't rattle around. This thing looks incredibly well made. I've got to tell you, I think it looks fantastic. Really, really good quality. And I love that it's now actually bolted to the frames of the car. I think that's wicked cool. It's a lot more compact than the other one. And I still have access behind it if I need to, and you can strap stuff to this. I think that's wicked cool. So if you're in the market for a ladder, I recommend this guy. I think it's great. It's very compact, it's very lightweight. It weighs about the same as the other one, but it takes up far less space. And then you've got more room between this thing and the tire if you wanted to put some stuff on the tire with a carrier or something. I think that's cool. Alright guys, time for job number 2. Alright, so I think that ladder went on really easy. That was great. As far as DIY goes, things going on easy never happens, so I'm pretty impressed so far. Time for job number 2. So the ladder was functional. Job number 2 is not necessarily functional, but it's still pretty awesome. So also from Jimny Hype, I've got a little box here, and within said box we have got these things. So these are 2 sets of false door hinges. I know, they don't do anything, they just look really cool. It's a bit of a take on a Jeep, on the Jimny. I don't want my Jimny to look like a Jeep, but I do love these little door hinge things. I think they add a really cool sort of aesthetic to the doors. So yeah, we're gonna put these on just because we can, and I'll show you how that works. Let's do it. Alrighty, so I've got 4 sets of these little dudes. So if you look at them, they operate on a very similar basis. So those are the 2 fronts. Right. Cool. There we go. So just like that. So the way these things work is you basically stick them onto the door and they look like hinges. Alright, it's pretty cool, but what you need to do is to make sure that when you're putting them on, like this is towards the bonnet of the car and this is on the actual door, so that when the door opens it pivots the right way. If you do it the other way around, it doesn't work and these things just push each other off, if that makes sense. So there we go. So we're going to stick these on. I've got 2 sets for both doors. Let's get it going. Alright guys, I hope you can see me okay. Sorry about the sunlight. So these brackets go just on this door here. So whenever you're sticking stuff to your car, it's very important that the surface is prepped well. So I'm just going in with some isopropyl alcohol, just making sure that there's no dust or debris anywhere here. Alright, cool. So the surface is prepped. What we need to do now is I'm going to get one of these guys, and as you can tell, there's quite a nice surface area of 3M tape on this, which is quite cool. So I'm just going to peel this off. Now guys, normally when you stick things to your car, it's important to heat the sticky surface up a little bit before you stick it on, but because these are not structural, I think we'll be okay. So there's the first bracket. Now as you can tell, there's the hinge side. So this is not going on the door side, this is going on the bonnet side. So I'm just going to get this lined up a little bit, leaving a little bit of gap in between, making sure it's reasonably straight, and I'm just going to stick that on there, give it a good push. Now the next piece is the indented piece, which technically goes underneath, And you want to make sure that there's a little bit of space between this and the first piece, just so there's enough room to move, and so the actual opening of the door is not going to affect it. And I think we're pretty good there. So I'm going to line these up exactly the same way I did with the first one. Whew, it's hot out here today. It's about 30 degrees right now. Alright, got my 2 other brackets. Bonnet side, door side. Alright, cool. So let me just clean the surface quick and I'll bring you back. Alrighty, ready to rock and roll. So I want it about there, same as before on the other side. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Why are you putting fake hinges on your doors? I get it, I totally do. But I just love the way these things look. I think they look great. They add a bit of character to the Jimny. And what's wrong with that, right? Cool. All right, let's get this on. Lightly tack. Let's see. Got a bit of movement on this one. Pull it back a little bit, just there. Let's pull this one a bit forward. Here we go. Perfect. Line them up nicely. Done. All right, guys, job number 2 done. I think that looks awesome. Nothing interferes on both sides. Totally good. I really like that. I know it looks weird, and you don't need them, but I mean, why not, right? They're awesome. Very cool. All right, I'm happy with that. Let's move on. Alrighty guys, I hope you've enjoyed yourself so far. 2 jobs done. It is 5:40 right now. So that took us a bit of time. Obviously filming things makes everything take a bit longer as well. But yeah, so job number 3 is a big one. It's one that I've been putting off for a while just because it's a pain in the ass and it's hard to do. But we're gonna do it today. And then put some really cool metal plate things on there. So these are checker plate sticky vibes. And I've had them for about a year. I've had them from the previous Jimny. And I never put them on. I didn't have time. So we're gonna put these on today, onto the vinyl, and I'm super excited for that. So I guess this next step requires a bit of process. So we gotta wash the bonnet, make sure it's completely clean, completely free of debris, completely free of dust. In order to do that though, I've gotta play a bit of car chess. I've gotta move my car around, pull it forward, pull my wife Mary's car out the way. So I'm gonna get that done in a second. I'm just working up the courage to do so. Oh man, it's been a big day. What are you guys up to? What are you doing right now? What is happening? Are you guys Jimny guys? Are you not Jimny guys? Like, I'd love to know. Whoever's watching this video, please let me know in the comments, like, why you're watching this. Are you thinking about buying a Jimny? Do you have one? Are you looking at accessories? Like, what's the vibe, guys? Let me know. Love to know. Jimny just released some information about the 2025 Jimny, which is going to be a hybrid, apparently, which might be really cool. I don't know. If it's a plug-in, I'm kind of against that. If it's a non-plug-in, like the Prius, sweet. I'll see if I can get one. My wife's dying over there. It's like another 40 grand purchase. No. If it's a non-plug-in hybrid, 5-door, I could be very tempted by that. So I'm gonna move these guys around and I'll bring you back. Sweet. I hope you guys are having fun. I'm having such a good time. I love working on the Jimny. It's so much fun. It really is. Oh, here we go. All right, I reckon let's get washing. Now, this doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. I'm just doing this to kind of protect the surface a little more. So I'm not expecting miracles here, but it's good to sort of just get it clean. I don't know how long it's going to be sealed for, so I reckon it's good just to try and do as good a job as I can. Alright guys, so after all of that, I changed my mind. I'm going to leave it just the way it is. I think that's totally fine for now. Now, we need to get these guys on. So, these are aluminium panels, and they're designed to just stick nicely onto the surface of the car. So, let's get these on. So obviously this bonnet panel has a bit of a curve in it. So I'm just going to try and follow this curve. Alright guys, that's it for today. Oh my god. So we did the rear ladder, we did the door hinges, and then we did the front bonnet, and I'm pretty happy with the way things turned out. I ran out of detail tape from 3M, so I might have to redo the spot of the bonnet next time I have time, but I think it's pretty good for now. I think I'm ready for the big Jimny camp tomorrow. Man, I wish I don't leave things to the last minute every time, but so we go. So guys, I'm done. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed that. If there's any questions or comments, please put them in the comments for me below. I'll be happy to respond and to answer any questions you might have. But yeah, other than that, join me for the weekend. I'll try and post as much as I can. And yeah, if you have anything you'd like to do with your Jimny that you've got planned, let us know. I'd love to know what everyone else is doing. But in the meantime, I'm going to sign off, and thank you for watching. Thank you for being there and supporting the channel. I really do appreciate it. And I'll come back to you with the next one. Cheers guys. Thank you so much. Ciao now. Bye.